In May, an American institution was introduced. Hollywood paraded its best and brightest for the first ceremony of the Academy Awards.
On the 16th of May 1929, love it or hate it, the film world changed forever as we got the ceremony for the first ever Academy Awards held at the Hollywood Roosevelt. Cinema would now be handed major awards for their respective achievements. This ceremony has had its fair share of controversy, and that spirit began at the first Academy Awards because the reason for its inception wasn't exactly just to celebrate the best of cinema. The Academy of Motion Arts Pictures and Sciences were created by MGM studio head Louis B. Mayer in an attempt to unite the 5 branches of the film industry, which included producers, directors, actors, technicians, and writers, as a means to stop the actors from unionizing. The Academy Awards were created in lieu of health benefits, insurance, and other benefits which you would expect to be provided to any employee nowadays. The ceremony was very different compared to the red carpet affair it is now. The first Academy Awards was said to have been a private banquet, with the ceremony itself only lasting a whole 15 minutes. That is so starkly different compared to what we have now, where it's just blown out of proportion like crazy. But according to the Oscars website, there were only 13 categories that are vastly different compared to what they are now. The race to Best Picture was also entirely different, as you will notice when we begin to talk about the notable winners of the evening. It's wild to think that back then, the Academy Awards were just a feeble facade designed to appease the different film guilds. But since then, it has grown to become the biggest celebration of cinema and the most prestigious award any filmmaker can possibly receive. Because of this, many iterations of the Academy Awards, and especially the first, didn't recognize international cinema, and considering the reasons as to why the awards were designed at the first Academy Awards, it didn't make sense to support international cinema at a ceremony designed to appease Hollywood, which does lead to egregious snubs even in this time. The record Parasite broke of being the first ever international film to win Best Picture probably wouldn't have existed if international movies were recognized from the very jump. The first Academy Awards were also a little strange because it honored movies from both 1927 and 1928, which meant that the acting categories in particular were provided for multiple roles performed by the same actor rather than just the one as is recognized today. Starting from the top, the Best Picture winner just adds to how bizarre the ceremony was. In a usual Academy Awards, the Best Picture winner would have won at least one, but usually multiple Oscars before taking home the big prize. The biggest sign is if the film can take home either a screenplay category or a directing category. However, the first Best Picture winner, or as it was recognized then, Outstanding Picture, was won by Wings. Having seen Wings, I completely understand the win. For its time, it was a stunning technical achievement that is highly engaging and still has incredible filmmaking elements behind it. The film also speaks to the times. It's a very patriotic film about World War I that released close to 10 years after the conclusion of World War I and is filled with propaganda. There are also scenes that would speak to the current roaring 20s, as there is a party scene or two that feels so extravagant. It's a good movie that I definitely would recommend to you. But speaking purely in awards terms, I don't think that was the most significant feature that was released in the time frame for this ceremony. This once again goes against the intended purpose of the Academy Awards at the time, but Metropolis, directed by Fritz Lang, has been the more significant film that has been discussed more, close to 100 years later in the present day. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I actually prefer watching Wings over Metropolis, but there is no doubt that Metropolis has etched itself into cinema history far more than the Best Picture winner of that year, which does become a recurring trend as you go through the Academy Awards history. But Metropolis was obviously a German movie, so while it could have technically been recognized, it would have been eligible, it didn't really stand a chance to even get nominated. If you also follow the awards haul, it is even more strange that Wings won Best Picture because a film called Seventh Heaven had a major haul. Editing wasn't introduced as a category yet, so if you take away that specific category, Seventh Heaven won pretty much an identical haul as an Academy Awards sweeper, such as the Best Picture winner of the 97th Academy Awards, Anora. Seventh Heaven won Best Actress in a Leading Role for Janet Gaynor, who was also acknowledged for her performance in Street Angel and Sunrise, Best Directing for a Dramatic Picture, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Now, in the landscape of today's Academy Awards, if a film won Best Screenplay and Director, as well as a lead category in acting, it is a wrap. That will always be the film that wins Best Picture. But here, Wings, which was nominated and won one other category in engineering effects, took home the big prize of Best Picture. It's just so strange considering how awards go now, and makes this specific ceremony extremely fascinating. As a whole, the first Academy Awards is such an interesting part in cinema's history. It feels like a ceremony where the more you read about it, the more interesting it gets. To see a ceremony progress without the concept of Oscar bait and the reasons for the ceremony being vastly different to what they are now provides a nice little time capsule to illustrate how much cinema and this awards ceremony has truly progressed. I think it's nice to acknowledge the history of this award show because, love it or hate it, the Academy Awards still holds significance, and that wouldn't be possible without the very first Academy Awards. And with that, remember to like and subscribe and potentially become a member if you really enjoy the channel. If you become a Kennedy crew member, you will be able to access bonus reviews like the one that I am doing for the first Best Picture winner, Wings. With all that said and done, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.